Okay, instructors, this is a sport I know you enjoy, and as we all know, there's not that many mechanics involved. We teach it in about an hour and a half. During the Olympics, we're going to teach it in an hour, so we need to move along. So this program is going to show you how we feel like is the quickest way to get people sliding, delivering stones, maybe playing an end or two if we have time permitting. The idea here is, we're trying to grow the club, and the way to grow the club is to make this fun for people. And, keep it safe, enjoy the time you're spending with these. They're total strangers. They've walked in, they're trusting you. That not only they're coming in on date night, they're coming in on the weekends with their family. They want to have a good time, and they're going to come in thinking they're going to make the Olympic team. Then they're going to find out it's harder than it looks, and it's up to you as they're going through that sort of down phase to make it fun and show them how each stone's going further. As they get their balance, each stone goes further. And usually by the game, the stones are going through the house, right? We've all seen that because their balance gets better, they get stronger, so then we need to dial them down. But keep it safe, keep it fun, and help the club grow. And we appreciate you taking the time to teach. Thank you very much. To begin with, this is the hack, the righties, I'm a righty, so the righty will step on top of the hack. So as we go to move forward, our foot will be behind the back of the hack and allow us to push off. The black slider will be under your left foot. It's slippery, so in the beginning, just get used to that. And then the stabilizer will be in your left hand, and the stone will ultimately be in my right hand, about a foot in front of me. And what we're going to do, the trickiest part of this sport, as a beginner, is there's a weight shift between my right foot pushing and then the weight moving over to my left foot as I slide and do a lunge on the ice. So what we do is we take it in two steps. First, come down, grab the stone, put it about a foot in front of my right foot. We want to be in front as we push off. What we're going to do is I'm going to lean forward. And as I lean, I'm going to push the stone, my left foot, and stabilizer all move together. Right about here, I'm going to push. And you're going to feel the weight come over to your left foot in a slow and controlled manner, and that will allow you to keep your balance. At the end, step off the slider and come back. And I'll do that one more time. So right now we're just working on balance. We don't want to throw the stone yet, because we don't want to throw the stone unless we're balanced. So again, foot on top of the hack, left foot on the slider, reach straight down. The stone's about a foot in front of me. I'm going to these three pieces, my leg, stabilizer, stone, I'm going to move forward. Right about here, I'm going to feel the weight come over on my left quad. That's when it's safe to push. I'm just going to push to let my right foot drag, let my knee come down to the ice. And that's important because when we go to throw the stone, if you're like this and you throw the stone, unfortunately what we see is people throw the stone and then and their knee goes pounding down into the ice. So what we want to see is if you bring your knee down first, gently, because the ice is hard, bring your knee down first, and then we're going to release the stone, step off the slider, and stand up. The other common thing we see that we want to correct is the righties will drift to the left, and the lefties drift to the right. And what's happening is your left foot isn't staying close to the stone. You're allowing it to slide out a bit. And you're going to go where your lead foot takes you. So I'll show you what we normally see sometimes is people get in, they go to slide, and that left foot comes out, and we kind of veer off. So the slide looks good, and the balance looks good, but we want to straighten out their slide. In the beginning, we want to come down the center line. Ultimately, we want to be able to aim, to throw with the stone. So we need to slide in the direction, in a controlled direction. So if you keep your left foot closer to the stone, right foot hack, left foot slider, come down, and as I slide, my left foot is just at the edge of the stone, so it'll all go in the same direction. The name of curling means we're going to curl the stone. They're going to be turning left and right. The way we do that is this is the front of the stone, this is 12 o'clock, it'll slide right out of my hand when I go to release it. So we'll start our slide with the stone either in the 2 o'clock position, which when we let go back to 12 o'clock, we'll put a left-hand rotation on it, and it'll move to the left. The opposite is true. If we get a hand signal from our skip, which we'll show you later, we turn the stone to the right, we go through our slide, and when we let it go back at 12 o'clock, it pops out of our hand and it'll curl to the right. So in conclusion, we've got our slide, we've thrown the stone, we've got a turn on the stone, we're doing everything right. Some housekeeping issues. Number one, the first green line you see is called the hog line. We need to release the stone by the time we get to the hog line. However, our momentum from our slide can take us over. In the beginning, new curlers tend to be releasing the stone somewhere in the house. And that's fine. Everybody releases it somewhere different, depending on how hard you push with your legs, how much you weigh, how much power you can generate, and also how hard you throw with your arm when you let it go. And all of those things your instructor will help you modulate to help you get the stone to the other end. At the far end, the same hog line is the line in which the stone needs to go over fully to be in play. So when you first throw stones, they're going to go halfway. They're going to go a third of the way. That's fine. Keep throwing them as your balance improves and your confidence improves. You'll see everybody gets them down there. Literally everybody gets them down. So don't worry about that. Bear with us. Just keep working through your slide. Your instructor will help you with your balance, and they'll help you fine-tune where you should release it. If you're throwing it too easy, they may have you release it sooner, so you're going faster in your slide. And if you're throwing it through the wall at the other end, we're going to probably have you not push at all, just slide and just turn it like a doorknob. And just all you do is turn the stone because your slide is providing all the power. So now that you've got your balance down, your instructor is going to allow you to throw the stones. So we're going to put right foot in the hack, left foot on the slider. We're going to get a hand signal from our skip at the other end. If he holds out his left hand, we turn the stone to the left, which means it's going to curl to our left. So assuming I got a left hand signal, I turn the stone to the left. I go through my slide, and as my knee comes down, I feel comfortable. I let it go, and it's turning to the left. We're looking for 3 to 5 rotations to the other end, which will allow it to curl 3 to 4 to 5 feet to the left, depending on the condition of the ice at this moment. So 2 things we see. Number 1, we see people who throw a knuckleball. That's fine, but as long as the stone is turning, we can kind of figure out where it's going. If we just throw a stone straight, you can kind of go plus or minus 2 feet. So we always want to put a turn on the stone of some sort. It gives us a feeling as to where it's heading, and our sweepers and our skip can maybe make some adjustments. When it's just a dead handle, we don't know where it's going, so we're not sure what to do. That's number 1. Number 2, people go through everything's perfect. They get in the tack, we turn the stone the way the skip wants it, and we go through our slide, and we let it go this way. So we want to just remind them to turn it back to 12 o'clock. Turn it back to 12 o'clock, it should go to the left. An easy fix, but again, remind everybody that as long as it's turning, we know where it's going, and we may be able to make something out of the shot. It's not the end of the world. Okay. So for those of us with stiff backs, sore backs, bad knees, bad backs, or other injuries, including we've had some women who are expecting early that have done this, there's a method of delivering a stone called stick curling, which stick curlers are able to compete with us in the recreational level of the able body. The wheelchair competitors also use the stick to deliver the stone. And all it means is you just can't do a slide out of the hack. But there's a way to still play the game. We move the stone a little further out. We turn it 2 o'clock or 10 o'clock, depending on what our skip's instruction is. We start with a righty. We'll start with our right foot in the hack. If you lower the handle a little bit, you can get it moving a little better. And as it's moving, now I walk out of the hack. I maintain this position at 2 o'clock, and I can walk all the way to the hog line. I push and turn, and I have a very similar shot to an able-bodied person can throw. The trick here is when you throw, when you push the stone, have your weight come through the stone and follow through, instead of push and put your brakes on, and then we have slips and we have falls backwards. So you want to throw and follow through. My hips and my weight are moving forward, weights on my left foot. No way I'm going to fall backwards if the weight's on my left foot. And your instructor should be alongside you with their sort of hand out here as you throw, just to make sure you're leaning forward, because it's a new experience for everybody. And again, we want it to be fun and safe. Our final piece is about sweeping. And sweeping will basically heats the ice up ever so slightly in front of the stone and allows the stone to go a little further than it normally would without sweeping. And also, as you can imagine, since I'm polishing the ice, the stone's going a little further, it has less friction, it also has less grip, so it tends to go a little straighter. So on TV, you'll see them sweep from the instant the curler releases the stone. That's part of their whole shot plan. For us, we tend to sweep just to extend the length of a shot, get it over the hog line or get it into the house. So what we do, your instructor will have a stone is placed in the middle. We'll have some of you on each side of the center line because we imagine us throwing the stone down the middle of the ice. The safest way to sweep is for me to stand the way I'm going, which is obviously that way, put my outside arm on the top of the broom, my inside arm on the middle, and now I'm going to be able to walk forward and I'll be able to sweep, try to cover the area and heat up the area, polish the area in front of the stone all the way down. And what's important to note is as we get to the far end, there could be stones in play. So we want to step over the stones and be able to step around them. You'll also see people sweeping like this, and you just got to be careful that this eye is looking down that way and you don't trip over a stone. And we don't want it to be, so the safest way is on this side, you look like this, and on this side, you're going to look like this. Your head's up, and you're just staying in front of the stone I like to have people about a foot in front of the stone on this side, and the sweeper on this side, well, two sweepers usually, and about a foot in front of them, because we don't want them hitting each other, because what happens is this sweeper hits this sweeper, and they hit the stone, and we take the stone out of play. Nothing's allowed to touch the stone once the stone is moving. My hat, my foot, anything, we call the penalty on ourselves. We literally just can't stop the stone from moving so it doesn't hit the stones and disturb the pattern at the other end. So what your instructor will do is have some of you on this side, some on that side of center line, and they're just going to literally push the stone down the ice and allow you to sweep in front of it. They're going to yell stop. And when he or she yells stop, keep moving. Always stay with the stone. Keep moving with the stone. Just stop sweeping. Because again, don't put the brakes on. That's where we see some people slip and fall backwards. So keep moving with the stone. You need to be jogging or running. The stone's going too fast and we don't need to sweep it, obviously. The other thing is if the stone's quite a bit ahead of you, remember it's always slowing. So just keep walking and you'll catch up to it. And then we'll decide if we want to sweep it at the other end, listening to your skip. So in the sport of curling, every player is involved with the shot. The skip at the far end will give a hand signal. They'll stand as the target for the thrower to give them an idea of where to throw the stone. These sweepers, there'll be somebody in the hack delivering a stone. There'll be two sweepers on each side of the center line, hopefully knowing where the stone's supposed to end up. So again, on TV at the Olympic level, they're starting back here and they're sweeping almost immediately because sweeping is an integral part of their shot. What we do is at the recreational level, save some steps and some heavy breathing, we'll start a little later. So you'll have the broom held in your hand so you're ready to sweep if and when the time comes. You'll turn as the shooter starts their slide. As they start their slide, you'll start moving along with their slide before they even throw the stone. And now you'll escort the stone down the ice and be listening to the skip whether or not they want you to sweep. Sweep, they tell you to stop, keep moving. They tell you to sweep again, sweep again. The idea is to keep walking forward, facing forward, so as you get to the far end, you'll step over any stones, you won't get tripped up. Once we work through the mechanics of delivering the stone and sweeping, your instructor, if time permits, will hopefully guide you through at least one or two ends of a game, so you'll see how everything fits together. And it's important to note that curling is a game that values sportsmanship, so before we start a game, between your own team and the other team, normally we would shake hands like that. COVID rules, we're doing fist bumps, if you're comfortable with that. If not, that's fine. And at the end of the game, we do the same thing. We typically wish each other good curling at the beginning of the game. At the end of the game, we say good curling or good game. And the idea is to walk off as friends and not as enemies. Also, what you should know, typically in curling at a tournament, the winning team will buy the losing team their first drink, typically a beer or scotch. And after that, if they're still sitting around, the losing team would return the favor. Okay, instructors, you've covered all the aspects of curling, the mechanics. You've got their balance down, they're having fun. Keep it safe, no running, try to keep the running to a minimum. Explain to them the scoring in the house. I like to explain to them, once they've thrown some stones, and maybe in the first end of throwing stones, in the very beginning with their slide, if you've got a couple in the house, kick them around a little bit and then really show them especially the visual learners, you have to show them how we score. Okay, I know you all can explain that to them, but the one thing you should do is maybe set 2 or 3 stones in and then show them how the hammer makes such a big difference at the end, because that's a big part of the sport in my opinion. And it's something they're nervous about their slide, they're trying to get stones down there. You need that's kind of one aspect that sometimes we gloss over. They'll ask questions about that later. Then also keep it fun, keep it safe, walk them off the ice. We'll have QR codes for them to scan for information about joining, subbing, leads. They get in the phone and be willing to, what you'll see is you made a difference. They had fun. They came in, they thought they were going to make the Olympic team. Then they found out it's harder than it looks. They get quiet, but then they start throwing stones. They hit out their friends' stones. They throw some in the house. The noise level goes up. They've had a good time, and they all leave saying thank you and had a good time. It's a great experience. And those of us who teach a lot, really enjoy it.